Hey y'all, happy wine and design. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. So I want to talk about something that came up recently when I was speaking with a friend, and we were just talking about design and decorating in general. Now, working in the industry, we can become very siloed and just assume that we know what everyone is curious about, what everyone is dying to know. And so this friend of mine is not in the industry. And what came up was something that I've not addressed ever, or if I have, I haven't really given, in my opinion, something real tangible. So it was great to hear that perspective. And I come on for wine and design, and I want to answer all of the questions you want to know. I want to tell you how to decorate your home on your own with design for yourself. That's the whole premise of the course, is that you be able to do this. But central to that is me knowing what you're actually curious about. So what came up that day was, how do you decorate and keep your home in, an of moment, a current style when trends change so often? When I think back to my grandparents, their style was just very even. It wasn't something that had to be changed frequently, reupholster a sofa or a chair here or there, but it was, it stayed the same pretty much. But now, with so much that we see with social media, with so many television shows about design, with blogs, etc., I feel that trends change over more quickly. So that does become something. How do you make your home look personalized for you, something that you're proud of, something that's current, without having to spend thousands and thousands year after year? So what I'm going to tell you is obvious, and I think it's probably something that I've said before. But I'm going to go a step further to give you a little trick on how to figure this out. So the key is buying your larger investment pieces like a sofa or a bed, chairs, buying those in a classic style and in a solid or a timeless pattern, something that you will be able to use year after year. And you might be thinking, yeah, great, we've already figured that out. You've already told us a million times how to personalize, how to update, etc. True. The big question, though, is how do you know what is a classic and what is not? So here's my little trick that I think will be really helpful for you all in figuring this out. We get, even though none of us buy through catalogs anymore, it's really just a big ad that we get ideas from. I love looking at them, though, also. So look at the catalogs that you get, and you'll notice, month after month, year over year, some things are repeating. Some of the products are the exact same products year after year. And what I think about in particular when I'm saying this is there is an upholstery line from Pottery Barn called PB Classic. Just like the name says, it is a classic, but you wouldn't even need that for you to realize it. You could look back, I swear I remember seeing it 10 years ago, and that same upholstery frame is there. That same shape is there. So obviously that is something that's lasted through a lot of different styles. You will not only see it with upholstery, but you can notice it in rugs or a coffee table or a bed, etc. So when you can see that something has lasted through years, and you see that through media, through magazines, through catalogs. And the reason I'm referencing those is those are things that, Southern Living has been around forever. So you could go back and actually reference what that used to look like. A blog, it's really hard to. Instagram is current. You really can't do that. So I think magazines and catalogs are the best way to do this. So go back and find those pieces, those actual pieces that are still there. Or with a magazine, see that actual rug style that is repeated year after year after year. So once you've figured that out, and those are your biggest pieces, those are your biggest investments. So of course you want it to be something that last longer. Then you're going to fill in with the trends. So then you can fill in with accessories and pillows, artwork, all of that to make it of moment without something that is a huge investment. Even if you're doing custom pillows, it's not the same investment as a new sofa. With drapes are a big, window treatments are a big investment. If you go with just a beautiful, again, classic pattern or a solid, then you've got something that's going to last for years. So that's my way to avoid having to make just this big investment year after year. Spend the money in the classics, sprinkle in the trends. And so that's a less expensive way that you can stay up to date year on year. And the way you figure out if something is a classic is go back, do a little bit of research, a little bit of digging, and see if you recognize the same style repeated and not just from last year. I mean, kind of dig back some years and figure it out. I know not all of us I don't keep my catalogs around forever. Some of us do keep our magazines around for years, but that's as easy as going back and, just doing a quick little Google image search, and you can see how far that's gone back. So you do have to do a little bit of research. You do have to avoid the knee-jerk reaction, which that is something I talk about in my course, is avoiding the knee-jerk, oh my God, I love that, let's buy it. Pause when it's a big investment. So that's my tip. Another just quick thing with that is with trends, you also don't want it to look like, for lack of a better phrase, the trend threw up all over your living room. So, if you love the farmhouse look, sprinkle that in, but your house doesn't really have to look like a farm. That's not the point of the look. So I hope that's helpful. I will let you know my course is reopening. I don't have a specific date, but kind of beginning of December is my goal. So it's going to be a great course to go ahead and purchase to get you ready for any decorating resolutions that you might have. If you're not on my newsletter yet, go ahead and get on that. That way you'll be the first one to know when things open up, when I reintroduce the course. I plan to introduce smaller courses this coming year. So just stay on top of that. You can go to my website and sign up for the newsletter. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Oh, and one last thing. Like I said, I'm always wanting to know what you all are curious about. So comment and let me know your biggest questions, or even if they're your smallest questions. Just what are those decorating questions you want to know? So with that, cheers. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Bye.